News Leader.
As the pandemic continues, millions of dollars may be coming into our area thanks to the federal government. We'll tell you what this money is going towards. And one fixture to the downtown skyline is getting a makeover. How long will this construction project last?
Florally Farms is saying about opening weekend at the Blueberry Farm.
Live in high definition. From your news leader, this is Jet 24 Action News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Brian Wilk. Major funding could be coming to the area from the federal government. Erie County Council will take up the first reading of the $24 million CARES grant funding. The money will be used for COVID-19 related expenses, including Erie County response, outreach planning, personal protective equipment, and to assist county municipalities, small businesses, and nonprofits. The first reading will take place on Tuesday, July 21st at 4 p.m. during the council meeting. And an Erie lounge and restaurant is facing problems after an investigation by the Bureau of Liquor Control and Enforcement. According to state police, Jamont Hollinsworth, the owner of Rumors Lounge on East 24th Street, is facing charges including unlawful sales of liquor. The charges are in response to what officials say were sales without a license. After an investigation that included undercover purchases, Hollinsworth has not yet been arraigned. And you may have noticed people working on top of the Boston store downtown. An official from the Housing and Neighborhood Development Service is saying they're working on a full restoration of the masonry and the brickwork on the clock tower. Now, construction was supposed to start around the same time Governor Tom Wolf announced the initial stay-at-home order back in March. During the stay-at-home order, they fell 6 weeks behind schedule with the construction. They have continued renovating the building with plans of completing the work by September. Now, the chief executive officer at Hands says they're working on boosting occupancy at the Boston Store Place, as well as many other restoration projects.
Funding from the Erie County Gaming Revenue Authority to redo this north-facing wall that people see in the background. It needs repainted and some work done to it.
And Matthew Good adding that project will begin either in the fall or next spring. And some grim new milestones. More than 14 million confirmed cases of coronavirus globally, 600,000 plus losing their lives to the disease, and here in the U.S., another record. Over 77,000 positive cases in just the last day, and that includes 5,000 that weren't previously counted. All of this while a mask debate continues across the country. ABC's Ty Hernandez has the story tonight.
As the coronavirus continues taking lives, this scene serving as a reminder of the challenges patients face fighting the virus alone.
You don't recognize me with all this junk on my face, but it is Sam. I love you, sweetheart. I love you so much.
After months of not seeing his wife of nearly 30 years as she battled the coronavirus, 90-year-old Sam Reck risking his life to visit Joanne, wanting to say goodbye one last time.
Finally getting to hold your hand after all these months.
Joanne passing away in that Florida hospital, one of the 26 states with a climbing daily death toll. It also happens to be one of 18 states in a new and unpublished White House task force document. States considered red zones where reopenings are recommended to be rolled back. A White House official saying the list was a guide for response efforts, not for the public to see. The document obtained by the Center for Public Integrity.
We're in big trouble, and ignoring science and hiding scientific input from the White House to the American people is not a way to move us forward.
Another of the states mentioned in that report is Georgia.
We shouldn't need a mask mandate for people to do the right thing.
The state's governor, Brian Kemp, suing the city of Atlanta and its mayor for enforcing what Kemp himself says is the right thing to do.
The governor has simply overstepped his bounds in his authority, and we'll see him in court.
And for a third day in a row, a record number of deaths in Texas. Refrigerated trucks arriving in San Antonio, handling overflow from the morgues. While in Houston, hospitals are overwhelmed. Military doctors and nurses now deploying to Texas, Arizona, and California, too. Civilian reinforcements also heading to the front lines. Nurses ready to lend a hand. Ty Hernandez, ABC News, New York.
And you can watch the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic on World News Tonight. That's coming up at the bottom of the hour. And here now is a look at the latest state and local COVID-19 numbers. In Pennsylvania, the Department of Health reporting 763 additional positive cases, bringing the total to over 100,000. There were 15 additional deaths reported, bringing that total to 7,007. In Erie County, the County Department of Health reporting 5 new cases, bringing the total number of positive cases to 769. There are currently 117 active cases and 15 total deaths. And in the region, Crawford County reporting 107 cases, up 2. Warren County reporting 12 cases, up 1. Chautauqua County, New York reporting 196 cases. Ashtabula County reporting 464 cases. And despite the pandemic and many challenges, one area blueberry farm opened up to the public this weekend. Chelsea Swift joins us in the studio with more on the opportunities as well as those challenges people in the agricultural business are facing. Chelsea?
Hi, Brian. The owner of Cloralee Farms, formerly known as Conn's Blueberry Farm, saying this is his second year of managing the farm. He says last year it was difficult at the start of the season because there was so much rain, this season being quite the opposite.
Owner of Cloralee Farm says he grew up picking blueberries at the farm he now owns. He says last year he saw ripe blueberries and opened the farm a little too early.
This year I think we opened right about on time this year. Mid-July, the 15th is when we should probably be open just about every year, and I think we've got a ton of ripe blueberries this year.
And people are coming out to pick these ripe berries. He says on opening weekend, at least 25 cars overfilled the parking lot. Adding one challenge the farm faces is making sure those who visit are following CDC guidelines.
It's just making sure that people are safe. I suppose we are doing our very best to make sure that people are wearing their mask while they're cashing out. And as you guys can kind of see, there's enough room out here that people can space out safely.
The community is enjoying what Cloralee Farms has to offer. We spoke to customers about being outdoors, spending time with friends and family, and picking blueberries.
It's just really fun all together if you can get a good batch of berries. I mean, I would suggest doing it.
Adrienne Chaplin says she and her best friend visited Cloralee Farms with a specific plan in mind.
We're going to make blueberry pancakes, and that would be really good.
For a link to Cloralee Farms summer hours, head to our website, yourerie.com. Brian?
Thank you, Chelsea. And today is the last day of Drive-Thru Cherry Fest in Northeast. Now, the co-chairman of the Cherry Fest says each day of the festival, they've seen between 500 to 800 cars come through. He says the community's support has been overwhelming, adding some customers returning to the Drive Festival multiple days in a row. Now, other customers showing up an hour before the drive-thru started. And the pandemic is far from over. The state has instituted tough new measures to fight COVID-19. But it's almost time to go back to school. Are we ready? Will it be a safe environment for your kids? We'll explore that issue in a Jet 24 Action News special report. It's this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. and we'll have school officials here for the entire newscast, and we want to answer your questions and concerns. Send them to us now on our Facebook page and join us this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. And coming up on Jet 24 Action News at 6, as we enter the dog days of summer, folks at the beach and on the water, they must stay safe, so we have a few reminders from the Coast Guard. That's after Craig's forecast. Hey, Craig.
And Brian, it is going to feel like the dog days of summer around here tomorrow. We have a lot of heat and also the potential for some severe weather.